Hello, Guardians, and welcome to Destiny Reset episode 114. This podcast is about anything and everything related to Destiny the game. If you love playing Destiny as much as we do, you're in the right place. This reset, we begin a debate of who the worst faction is, come back to count down on eternity for Trials of the Nine, and help Cyborg decide where to start his third character. Hello, Guardians, and welcome. It's AER0KNIGHT, and of course here with me, CyborgSasquatch. Hi.
Hello.
Hey, buddy.
Guardian.
How are you?
I'm doing great, man. How's it going?
It is going great. It has been a busy month.
No doubt. It's been
September.
A long blur of a September.
I
looked up and it was the end of the month today.
I know. It has just been busy. Just all kinds of stuff going on, but still fitting in some playtime, of course.
It's good. Are you ready to talk about Destiny 2 today?
Of course. Always.
Let's do it, man.
Excited to talk about Destiny 2 with you, buddy.
Do we have some announcements?
We do. Just a quick one. We had a nice last-minute reschedule. Last week, I mentioned the Dirt Fam reunion was going to be last weekend.
It changed very quickly.
Yes. I was talking to Scorio, and we decided, there's several people, there's quite a few that can't make it that wanted to come. Let's see what everybody's travel plans are. And nobody had bought any plane tickets, anything like that. So we asked everyone, and we very quickly decided, once everyone was cool with it, that we're going to push it back to November 17th, 18th, and 19th. Hoping that many more can come. Actually, I said our goal was to have a picture with as many, if not more, Guardians that we had of the Dirt Fam at G-Con. So,
oh wow,
we're really hoping
be a big crowd.
Yeah, we're hoping to have a big turnout. So, anyways, long story short, we're pushing it back November 17th, 18th, and 19th. If you can only come one day, make it the 18th. That's Saturday. And if you have any questions, want to gather where we're chatting about this event, message Scorio70 on Discord with any questions. It's SCOREO70.
Wonderful.
There you go.
Yeah, he texted me. He was like, hey, by the way, it's November. In case you can make it.
I won't tell you the conversation him and I had about figuring out how to get you there trickily. With some trickery.
It sounds like I'm going to be kidnapped or something. I like that. That is a much more doable thing. Now it's a question of, will I drive?
Yes.
I don't know how many hours. It's at least got to be 15 hours.
Let me just tell you, it is completely understandable if you can't make it.
I'd be a lot more likely to make it if I had somebody down here that was planning to go as well.
Definitely. I've already, because both people that live close to me, my IRL buddies, they weren't able to make it.
People to ride with you, right?
Yeah. So. Yeah, they weren't able to make it to the original dates. So it's like, I'm the exact same. I'm already lining up if they can go in November and if we're all driving together. So I'm with you. I hear you.
All right. Well, so that's the weekend before Thanksgiving. So
yes,
not a terrible time.
Yeah, we figured maybe
a quick weekend.
People wouldn't be doing anything the weekend before Thanksgiving because everybody's going to be doing something.
You can't
the weekend.
You can't be like, oh no, it's Thanksgiving weekend, got family stuff. Nope, it's the weekend before. All right, moving on. It's time for some news. There's the newsy news over in Destiny 2 world. It's this week at Bungie coming at you.
Yes.
On a weekly basis, as always. Faction wars. No,
Boom.
sorry, faction rallies.
Just like that.
Not even wars. Faction rallies are kicking off at Reset.
All kinds of info.
Once you've heard this, they're live.
Check it out.
Faction rallies are a thing that are coming. It's all right, I'm going to just come out and say this. Disappointingly simple and pretty much what we expected. You get tokens from doing stuff. You turn them into the guys. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
You will be able, this is cool though. You'll be able to have a chance at earning specific gear some skinned gear for your preferred faction. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
I do I hope they have more events that give you another or even more of a reason to go out into the world. I'm really hoping they stay focused on this get us out into patrol thing. But yeah, I think it'll be fun and it'll be cool. But yeah, I was kind of expecting more than just get some tokens and go turn them in.
And
what you hinted at.
Yeah. So there's that, but you get a chance at earning some pretty cool gear. I mean, I gotta say, dude, like this, I'm totally not being impartial here because I've always been a New Monarchy fanboy, but their stuff looks cool as heck.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you don't think so, I don't know what you're smoking.
See, I always, it's funny because I really kind of looked at the lore of the factions in Destiny 1 and none of them really
they're all a little crazy.
Yeah, right? Yeah, so it's like, if
Pick
anything, like Future War Cult, like maybe makes the most sense, but I always lean towards Dead Orbit just because I'm all about the black and white and I loved the Titan gear in Destiny 1.
Yeah.
But, and you know, they're pretty cool, but the gear for Dead Orbit here, I'm probably still going to go with Dead Orbit, but it kind of looks blah. I mean, I won't say blah.
So you just said what every person is going to say. I've been watching Twitter and Facebook all week, and there have been so many polls. And every poll, landslide, Dead Orbit.
Dead Orbit, yeah.
I don't
know what it is
get
about
it.
Dead Orbit. Yeah.
Because... Is it because of black shaders? That's why people pledged Dead Orbit in Destiny 1. It was black and white shaders.
Well, if you notice, dude, my Titan, I mean, my characters, my Hunter, I got a little creative, but my Titan, like, I always ran all black or all white. Like, I was
and I like
Dark
black
Knight
and white
or the White
shaders.
Knight.
Yeah, like, I can get into that, and that's cool.
Yeah. But
But
Dead
let me
Orbit,
just
go ahead.
let me say something, man.
Take the floor,
And this
buddy.
is going to fall on complete deaf ears because I know all of you are going to go Dead Orbit, and there's nothing I can do about that. But Dead Orbit's principles,
I know,
were to forsake the traveler, that it was
flee.
a dead false god, to leave the city because it was a failure, and go and recolonize other places. They want to forsake Earth.
It's funny you say that, dude, because I was just about to
completely
mention,
counter to what Guardians are.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that because, like I said, when I went and got into the lore of the factions, Future War Cult, like New Monarchy, not really my thing, and Future War Cult was like the closest to like something I possibly could agree with. And yeah, Dead Orbit, even though they're awesome and their Titan gear looked cool and everything, yeah, they're like basically, guys, let's just get out of here. Let's go.
Let's bail. Let's get the heck out. And then Future War Cult seems at first
on the
glance
surface,
like maybe, this could make some sense.
Yeah.
But the reality is that they put themselves in this machine that exposes the person to alternate timelines and leaves the majority of them completely brain dead.
Yeah.
Or crazy.
Yeah.
And all of the realities are a reality in which there's a war and humanity is destroyed. So their tenet is we have to prepare for the oncoming war, which, by the way, guys, we're already in.
Yeah, we're already in. So, when you say it that way, then New Monarchy makes a little more sense, but then it's the whole monarchy
But then let me tell you about the whole monarchy thing.
I can't get into the monarchy thing, man.
So the New Monarchy, and this is coming from a guy who supports New Monarchy. Here's the cool thing about New Monarchy.
And look, he's going to start off with a cool thing about his faction.
No, this is the only faction that you can say this about. All right, you're familiar with the map Bannerfall.
Mm-hmm.
Bannerfall is the site of where the factions used to reside, and prior to Future War Cult being a faction in the tower, there was another third faction, and they were, I think it was called the Collective or something like that. I have to go look it up. But basically they were big trouble, and they wanted to basically like do some really bad stuff. Like they wanted to abolish the Vanguard and like they believe the Traveler was a false god, like all this crazy stuff. And we're creating a bunch of problems. And the Monarchy literally like just wiped him out. Like they killed him. They ran him out of the tower. And they did some good stuff. And then so Future War Cult came in as the new third faction kid on the block. But New Monarchy like saved the day. It didn't ask for anything in return.
Yeah.
So I mean that's cool.
What's a negative? What's a negative?
They want an autocracy. Like they want to have
rule the world.
A ruler over the city. But the thing is like, okay, they see a power vacuum and they want to fill it. Fair. I don't know. I'm not going to be one to judge ruling systems 700 years in the future. I'm just saying the person they wanted to be the monarch was Commander Zavala. Probably the nicest guy around, just saying.
In the world.
Probably the coolest Titan in the world. I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah. You know, so, I think this is all
evils.
Intentional by Bungie. There's some things you like about each, and there's some things you don't. So it's like, either figure out a way to make your own, or pick one.
Yeah.
So, black and white shaders it is.
Banner black and white shaders it is. So, all right.
I did think about that today.
Way off track here.
I did think about that today. Something like I don't know if I was watching a YouTube video, but exactly what you said. I'm like, man, it just feels like everybody's going to pick Dead Orbit. It's only going to cost us 1,000 to get that weapon, it seems like. So there you go. There's just
I was off base for a second here. I thought it was a different fact. It was a Concordat, and who was led by Lysander. And they attempted to overthrow the consensus and the speaker, which the consensus and the speaker is basically like kind of a group of people that rule the city. The speaker, kind of is over the Guardians. The Vanguard is tasked with the protection of the last city. The Vanguard, by the way, have nothing to do with ruling, quote unquote, the last city. I don't know if you saw that article this week. Oh my gosh. Don't get me started.
This is how our shows end up 2 hours when we're shooting for 1:15, guys.
Sorry.
Both of us, no, not you. I mean, both of us, we had no plans to break down the lore of the factions, and then we just roll right into it.
Yes. This is not planned. So they ran him out of town. However, Lysander himself is still around, and if you were around Destiny 1 in year 3, there was a few little Easter eggs here and there that led us to believe Lysander is still in the city and reorganizing his faction, leading to my spin foil hat theory that on reset we're gonna have a fourth faction.
Ooh.
Wouldn't that blow your mind?
That would be cool.
That'll make you question if you're going to pledge Dead Orbit.
Yeah, I feel like there's something else here. There's more to this event.
But then that would just be asking way too much, wouldn't it? Why would we get a surprise? All right, so the whole idea here is whoever gets the most, whatever faction gets the most tokens will be declared the winner. And will offer a weapon.
Yes.
That weapon will be for sale to everyone for 50,000 glimmer. However, if you pledge that faction, it will be for 1,000 glimmer.
Look at that. I know that's that's the other thing too about Dead Orbit is, what is it? It's a sidearm
rifle for Dead Orbit.
Yeah, Dead Orbit's a scout rifle, and then the others are
we got a pulse rifle from Future War Cult and a sidearm from the Monarchy.
So that's another reason why in this particular faction
they definitely stacked the deck here, man.
Yeah, it may.
If you say Dead Orbit scout rifle, they've got a great history.
Yep.
With hung jury. It's like if you're making bets, I'd probably bet on a Dead Orbit scout rifle.
Yep.
Come on, Bungie.
I know. They could have given Dead Orbit the sidearm or something. Oh man, that hung jury. The only thing the hung jury didn't have, that original hung jury, was full auto. I always like full auto on my scouts, but you can't complain with what that OG hung jury had.
Yeah. So they've got some cool stuff available from each of these factions. Mm-hmm. I wish that I could, as in Destiny 1, pledge each of them over a period of time and get each of their sets.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be interesting, this way of doing it. Like, they're gone after next Tuesday?
That's what I'm wondering, because they have a location for them in the wall, the tower, what have you.
Yeah.
To reside. I'm wondering, do they stick around afterwards?
When the game launched, so much was going on, I didn't even realize for a little bit that our faction dudes weren't there.
Yeah, they're just MIA, man.
Yep. Here they are.
Where you at?
What do you guys have for us? You've been gone for a while.
Well, apparently they've been in the city helping with the rebuilding efforts.
Well, that's nice of them.
That's the word on the
Now they've got loot for us.
Now they're coming to get that sweet tokens, because tokens are a thing they need.
The tokens.
Is this like strange currency again? Have some unmetered value? I don't know.
I will say the tokens do make your visit to the tower before bed kind of cool, because you have the engrams.
It's all about
the tokens to turn in everywhere, and
it's all about that euphoria, that hit, of going to the tower, turning in all your stuff
tomorrow,
finding what you get for your hard work,
getting
a bunch of drops. All right, so that is the factions. What else we got this week at Bungie? I gotta scroll through all these armor sets to get to it.
A parade?
Art
parade?
The art parade. Dude, yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we get to see the portfolios of all the spectacular artists. And my favorite part is getting to see the super high-res renders of armor and stuff that they do.
That's so cool, dude. Those
So,
initial
dude,
Titan pictures there. Mm-hmm.
I would just like to imagine a future where we have like Destiny 3 come out or something, and this is how the game looks. Like these super high res renders.
Can you imagine?
That's how it looks in the game.
So many people probably right now are driving in their car
like, dear
PC.
God.
No.
It's there. There's a future where this is possible.
I love these though, man. Like, of course, I instantly picked out the Trials weapons, and I wanted to see who created those, because they're just beautiful.
Yeah. The weapons are pretty, man. I do like the Trials weapons.
Speaking
the Vice weapons are pretty cool. I got some Vice weapons to drop last night while I was wearing a Vice t-shirt, and I felt special.
Nice, very nice.
Which I would love to hear some more backstory on that new foundry.
Mm-hmm.
They just introduced a foundry. Nothing.
Yeah, and that's
all you know.
The gist.
They're just here. They're making weapons. How you doing, guys? Making weapons for you. Yeah. So go check this out. There's a portfolio for a whole bunch of awesome, talented artists.
There's a ton. Yeah, all kinds in here.
You can go look through these and see some really cool stuff, and see who's responsible for this amazing work. Next up, we talk about guided games. So guided games, so far over 100,000 seekers have been guided through the Nightfall. That's actually pretty impressive, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised the number's that high. Not that I don't think people are doing it, just that this early,
100,000.
a lot of people are doing it. And they said over 90,000 of those attempts have resulted in completion. So great job,
Guardians. that was even more of a shocker to me. Mm-hmm. I love that. That's a good percentage, I think.
Somebody told me, I personally have not done any guided games yet, because I'm a selfish, terrible person, and I spend my time doing my stuff and helping my friends. Not that I don't plan to, but I was told that there's an emblem for doing guided games.
Yes, there is, and it's a pretty emblem. It's got some ships flying on it. with the trail behind him. Yeah,
I haven't done it either. I actually haven't to get me to lay down.
I haven't even done a Nightfall yet, man. I've got Nightfall and Raid on my list this next reset. As you're listening to this, the current reset,
you can do it.
But yes.
So they talk some about guided games and how they work for some more detailed questions. Definitely go check that out if you're interested in participating on either side. Next step, they talked about an upcoming downtime for server maintenance. That was today. Our recording day is Monday the 25th. Destiny 2 is offline, I think, till about 2 p.m. Eastern today.
Mm-hmm. A little longer than last week, I think. Yep,
preparing things for the patch that dropped today, which we will talk about. Then there were they have some known issues. This was a kind of a big one. Trials of the Nine.
Yeah.
First off, they mentioned it was not disabled properly at this week's ritual reset. I think possibly Trials was still going after reset.
Yeah, it was still going. It was going on Tuesday. I saw a little bit on Twitter, and then people were. I saw Gathalion tweet out, "Don't get your flawless right now because it'll be the same loot as last weekend." Yada. Like everybody was kind of freaking out for a second.
You'd screw yourself out of your rewards.
Then I had that moment too because I'm still wondering about the power level in Trials and if that's going to change and what their plan is there. Maybe there's no plan. This is it. But I was thinking to myself, wait, there's no way Trials is all weak now. That just doesn't make sense. But we're in a new world. It's Destiny 2. Anything's possible.
Yeah.
But no, it's on the weekends.
That was a mistake.
Oh, speaking of, I did. I don't think we've mentioned this, and maybe we will at some point. I'm going to do it right now. Xur sticks around till reset now.
Yeah,
he doesn't leave on Sunday night.
We haven't talked much about Xur.
Yeah,
we did a little bit last week, I think. But
I like that.
All the way
through. He sticks around.
Or Monday night. Yeah, I like that too because
kind of weird. Yeah.
How often would it be like somebody couldn't log in until Sunday evening?
They're gone for the weekend.
And So that was a good step. I think that made sense.
Yes.
Everybody gets plenty of time to go check out his wares, and it shows you on the map of the planet he's on. It seems that he is located on the same planetoid as the Flashpoint.
Yep.
Seems to be the case. And if you open up that map, it will show you his location.
I'm still on the opinion that he shouldn't be on the map. I think it
would be a fun thing every week to find him, right?
I mean, I would feel for all the YouTubers that like to post their videos right away.
But having him in that big of a space, I think it would be difficult.
It would be hard, but it would be neat. It would be fun. It would go from YouTubers posting their Xur location and reviews to just streaming it, and it would be a party every week trying to find him.
Well,
world's first every week,
right? And how cutthroat could it become? People don't share or tell each other, until the video's out. Get the scoop. That would be.
It would be. You just wonder. I just think it's kind of a fun little thing that could be possible, but it is a big space.
You want chaos? No wonder you're dead orbit. Moving on there. Okay, so this is an important one. The quest step, His Highness's seal, is not properly incrementing when players acquire Emperor seals. So you will get a quest for a power weapon in playing the game that you'll do a couple steps, and then it requires you to do the raid. And when you finish the raid for the first time, then you go and you do a strike and you get a weapon. It's a really cool weapon. I won't spoil it for you. But it's not the end of the quest chain. You get a version of the weapon. Mm-hmm. So there are further steps that the quest chain continues, and one of those steps is to get something called Emperor's Seals, which you acquire when you're doing things in the raid. The meter is 100 Emperor's Seals. Instead of getting a number of them for different activities, it might be like 13 for clearing one thing. It's only raising that bar by 1 for every activity you complete in the raid.
Oh.
Out of 100. So
Wow.
it's bugged. What's been data mined is the final step is completing the prestige raid. So you would have to do it in insane amount of raid clearing to get this thing to drop.
Yeah. Wow.
Or to complete it. So that's bugged. Hopefully they're going to fix that soon before the prestige raid comes out in October.
I'm excited to see what the prestige raid is going to bring.
Yeah.
Sure everybody is.
Here was another big problem if you're trying to complete the prestige nightfall this week. Occasionally, objects aren't properly spawning within the Exodus Crash Nightfall Strike. You may have to relaunch the activity for objectives to properly spawn. A large majority of the time, if you're attempting the Prestige Nightfall Strike, in this Exodus Crash Strike, there's a point at which you have to drive through these blue, I don't know what to call them, pillars, like light pillars. Mm-hmm. And when you got to a certain point to do that, they just wouldn't spawn. So you could not complete the activity.
Bummer.
Yeah, big bummer. On top of other problems with that strike. So that's an ongoing issue. So hopefully you didn't waste your time. I saw people saying they did it like 8 times. Like, guys.
That stinks.
After once, I'd be done.
Yeah.
And then here's another one that I've seen happen to a bunch of people that I've played with. Clan engrams are not being rewarded to some qualifying players.
Yeah, I've watched several streamers that
Big stinky
are
there.
of this issue. Yeah.
So they're working on that. And then last, if a player creates a new character after an alternate character has earned a raid key on a given week, the key will be erroneously removed from character inventory. So basically when you complete a certain portions of the raids, you get chest keys. And so if you did that, didn't use the key and then created a character, it would pull those out of your inventory. Gone forever. You already lose them on the weekly reset, which is another thing that people are not pleased about, but we won't get into that.
Another day.
So a bunch of ongoing issues.
Several another day topics.
As they call them, known issues being investigated by appropriate teams. We'll look forward to solutions to those. There's another one with Eververse. Silver purchases not arriving in the account. This seemed to be a problem in Destiny 1 as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They've got some possible solutions here. If you had that problem, hopefully you have not. But they also have an Eververse contact form specifically for that if you're having issues. So there's a link there if you would like to kind of open up a help ticket, I guess, with them.
Always some stuff going on in the What's Up Doc area.
This
wouldn't be a game.
Living code. Imperfect, yet beautiful.
It's a beast.
Next up, we had the movies of the week.
Did you check out this first one?
Destiny 2, the Journey metal cover.
It's pretty good.
What do you think?
Yeah.
I enjoy any Destiny covers of any kind.
Yes. Yeah. I always love these types of videos where they do each section, each piece, and then throw them over the top of each other.
Yeah, it's fun stuff.
Very cool.
Definitely check all these out. We had something pretty funny happen during the raid this week that I'm thinking about doing a video for and submitting. We'll see if I can present it properly to make movie of the week, but we'll try.
Teaser.
They had the Euro Gamer Expo. I think that was this past weekend. I didn't see a whole lot come out of that Destiny wise. I guess they were just making an appearance.
Yeah,
I think they had a panel. I want to say they had a panel. It wasn't. I haven't seen any videos of it or anything yet. Maybe somebody will upload it to YouTube, like sometimes happens.
I saw. Well, this Cosmo says Deej will be there, and then I saw a tweet like, I don't know, Sunday or Monday, and it's like, I'm on my way back. I'm like, oh, okay. That was it.
I think the marketing tour is over, so to speak, you know.
For a couple months. Yep.
All right, so that was This Week at Bungie. Let's talk about, real quick, the Destiny 2 update 1.0.3, the one about faction rallies.
Dude, I guess we had a small patch the other
last week,
maybe last reset, but yeah, it's kind of we're back to we've got this little bullet point in our show notes every week. It says patches or hot fixes, and we haven't had.
It was empty for a long time.
Yeah.
Now we're back to the regular patches, which are great.
Yes.
Faction rallies. They give some details on this. Pledge to a faction vendor. Pledging places a buff on the player character for the duration of the event, associating that character with that faction. By destroying enemy resources in lost sectors, completing public events, completing strikes, completing crucible matches, and the Leviathan raid. You earn those tokens. You turn them in for reward packages. You get stuff. La-di-da, etc., etc.
I love that they included lost sectors.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's like
just doing the stuff in the public place.
Yeah, instead of just like public events.
I'm wondering how they tuned the tokens. Mm-hmm. Like what things give you how much, because in the end it like has it's kind of like time versus reward, right? So ideally, if they could all be equal as far as the amount of time that you would put in, or somewhat roughly, like I may go do some strikes next week if it's equivalent time exchange for the reward.
Yeah, that'll be what's figured out the quickest.
Oh yeah, somebody will figure it out. Like, hey, you do this public event, you teleport here, you go back. Like, they'll figure out how to farm them.
Yep.
If they haven't already, Fix some kind of UI issue with hunters and health bars. Who cares about hunters?
Those hunters.
Activities. Fixed issue in the raid that granted resurrection tokens unintentionally to players joining encounters in progress. I don't know what that was. Something else with an adventure and a minotaur. Clans. Fixed an issue where clan XP was not being granted for completing public events. I noticed this. Mm-hmm. And then fixed an issue preventing some players from receiving weekly clan engrams. Hey, yo.
There's that one.
Hopefully
just like
that'll fix it.
Yeah. I always love these patch notes too, because how many times we're on here, like several of them sound familiar to us, and then other ones were like,
what?
I didn't even hear anything about that.
Okay. Here's a big one for the Crucible, the call to arms. We were texting about this. Have you been doing the call to arms?
Yeah. I save it for, usually I finish it in the trials passage.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was thinking about trying to do it that way, but I was pushing both my characters to try to get that done. Like, I've been trying to do all the milestone stuff on reset day, but the call to arms takes the longest, like at least an hour or two if you're just sitting there doing it. So they have reduced the amount needed to complete the milestone to align it with other weekly milestones. Cool.
Excellent.
Makes it a little easier to complete that, because it's based on performance. It's based on like kills, as far as I can tell, kills, points, and wins.
Yeah, you can definitely.
So if you have some bad games,
faster.
like it can take some time
or slower.
Yeah. Like I would not do like competitive, unless I couldn't tell you if the scoring is adjusted for competitive, but you're gonna get back into the action quicker in the quick play playlist for this. They adjusted some things on some maps on Midtown and Eternity.
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't see the Altar of Flame.
Yeah, they probably didn't.
Right here.
These are probably things that they
were
fixed
already
last week,
working on. Yeah,
sent it to CERT.
Now
that'll probably be in next week's. Yeah. They fixed some general issues with things not loading gear in the tower, a crash when signing out of Destiny 2, And
yeah, do you think this is the because a lot of people have been experiencing when you load into the tower, like NPCs not being there and they have to reload. Have you heard of this? I know I think this has been happening more on the PS4.
This was the Destiny 1 thing
addressing
too.
This didn't seem like that exactly to me.
Because it says when signing out of Destiny 2.
Yeah. Well, there was what's the other one?
In which players in the tower could sometimes fail to load gear.
Yeah, so that's just gear. Well, when I was reading that, I was like, okay, cool, they fixed this, because a lot of my friends have been, so I'm just surprised that hasn't been addressed yet.
Yeah.
It's only happened to me a couple times, but apparently some people have been getting it a lot more frequently. But has it been happening to you on Xbox or no? I hear I think I've kind of caught wind that it's more of a PS4 thing, possibly even PS4 Pro. But that I don't have any proof on that, but that's just the pattern that I've noticed.
Yeah. Okay. And then they had some companion app stuff they fixed. So, just kind of a little laundry list of known issues they were able to sort out. A couple good ones. Still got some big ones to fix.
Mm-hmm.
There was a big issue with Trials that we forgot to mention this week. When Trials launched this past weekend, or Friday, tell us what happened.
Basically, again, I didn't even know this until I saw it on Twitter. Yeah. People were able to get... Altar of Flame was the map, right?
Yes.
Is that right? Yes. People were able to basically get outside of the map, right?
Yes.
And yeah, that doesn't work for Trials. And then I didn't realize, like, it was an instant tweet from Bungie, we're going back to Eternity Countdown. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. Eternity's cool. And I didn't realize, it didn't fully register that they also went back to Countdown. Because I was,
and everything.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to trying Survival.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
I was not. So, I've tried it. I fully expected like 3-hour long Trials cards. And that I was not excited about because...
Well, that definitely is a thing with Survival.
Survival takes a while, dude.
I love the game mode. I really enjoy it. But yes, it takes too long. It needs to be...
I've got nothing against it, but I was talking with some people I was playing with this weekend, and I think it's as simple as reduce the number of resurrection tokens to like 4.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And everybody gets 1 respawn, or however you work it out, but it would be a lot more like a more punishing version of elimination.
Yeah, which I would be fine with if they don't have any plans on bringing elimination back.
Right. Assuming that's the case. Mm-hmm. Assuming that's the case, they need to make this mode a little bit more efficient for people to enjoy it. I think it's cool, but golly, it takes a while for a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoy it though. I love kill based game modes.
Yeah, I mean it definitely brings that original elimination vibe, like high stakes, a little more taking your time, a little more peeking.
It's so fun too
when go, big play, explosive
you don't
play.
Have any respawns left, and then your team brings it back.
High stakes. I mean that's cool. Like that's a cool aspect of that mode, but I think it needs some tweaking. So yeah, so there was no survival. Well, there was survival for a very short period, and it went back to Countdown and Eternity.
I saw on YouTube feeds people were like posting gameplay of Altar of Flame, and I'm like, well, they're gonna get some hits on that because people didn't get to play it and or watch it.
I haven't played that map yet. I don't know.
I haven't either.
If it was reserved to come out until like this weekend, like Eternity was. I think they also put on Twitter that Eternity is in the general map population now as well.
Yes.
Have you run across it? I haven't run across it.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
No, it's
Have you played
you know what?
the
No, I
new,
take that back. I take that back. I played a Control match. Oh, maybe it was just
Control,
Countdown.
really?
No. I think maybe it was Countdown. I loaded into a match before we started a Trials card last night, and it was Eternity. Because I remember thinking, oh, sweet, this works.
This again.
Practice a little bit.
Have you played the Emperor's map? I don't remember what it's called.
Have not.
It's I don't like it for Control because of where the point is, but it's not bad for like I enjoyed Supremacy on it. Clash is fine on it. I haven't played anything else on it. I don't think I did count down there yet.
Yeah, no, I still have not run into that one.
I love the art style overall. That's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but I think that's all the news this week. No more
That's
news
it.
for you. You'll come back 1 week. We have more news. How about we talk about our sponsor this week real quick?
I think we should do that.
Let's do it. For listeners of this podcast, the Destiny Reset podcast, our sponsor this week, Audible, is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their really cool service. So I've used Audible for a long time. You have as well. Mm-hmm. It's easy for us to talk about because we like it. I use it almost every day. Got some cool books to recommend this week. One of which I started in print, but I did see is available in the spoken word on Audible, and it's a great read. I would recommend to anybody that listens to this show. It's Blood, Sweat, and Pixels by Jason Schreier, who is well known for being a writer at Kotaku. He's done a lot of really big articles on Destiny 1 in the past, some expose-ish stuff about Destiny 1, and he expands on that. There is an entire chapter dedicated to the development of Destiny 1 that I would recommend. It's very interesting. But there's a whole bunch of chapters on some other really cool games, like Stardew Valley, Star Wars 1313, if you remember that being a thing. Mm-hmm. A whole bunch of other really cool games that he goes in behind the scenes from 10 years of interviews, research, articles. He collects from his whole journalistic background of working with game developers and being in that industry, and talks in depth about the development process behind all these games, which personally I find super fascinating. So
that stuff is so interesting. It reminds me of the I've mentioned it before, like the console war, PS3 and the Xbox 360. That's such an interesting book. I love that stuff. Did you text me when this came out? I still haven't ordered it yet. And
well, now you should just get it on Audible, man.
I should just get it on Audible. Yes, that's way easier.
I read the chapter. I want to say
right to that one.
like it came in like right before or right when Destiny 2 dropped, and I went right to it and like read through it over an hour or two or something just to get in there and read that, because I knew I wouldn't have time any other ways. But I've been working through the rest of the book. But this is a no-brainer. I think anybody that listens to this show would enjoy this book. This is a great way to get it for free by taking advantage of this offer from Audible. What do you recommend this week, Arrow?
Dude, mine is the same as last time. It's the classic Extra Lives, Why Video Games Matter. I'm still working on that. I've actually been, in my driving time recently, I've been like listening, believe it or not, like listening to YouTube videos and streams, like just because I'm just trying to get all the Destiny 2 intake possible. Right. And but I will return to the books, and what better way to be able to do it than while you're driving, of course.
Absolutely. So if you want to take advantage of this and download a free audiobook that you get to keep forever, even if you cancel the trial, so this is a no-brainer. Just go to audibletrial.com/Destiny Reset. Sign up for a free 30-day trial, pick a book, and see how you like it. I've stuck around. It's $14.99 a month. You get a credit a month that you can use towards thousands and thousands of books. I mean, it's very rare that I'm looking for a book that they do not have in the spoken word format. So it's a great way to consume that. Spot this in instead of like your 8th Destiny podcast, as long as you don't skip us. I know,
that's what I was about to say. Is you will like it's unbelievable how fast you will finish a book. You don't even realize it. Even if your commute's only like my commute's half an hour an hour total, each way. So you'll be surprised at how fast you finish a book.
Average book I read is 6 to 8 hours at 1.25 speed. which I will easily
listening.
knock out in a week.
We know you're all listening to 1.5 to 2 hour long episodes of Destiny podcasts, multiple ones each week. So,
all right. So take advantage of that. Again, it's audibletrial.com/Destiny Reset. And thank you for Audible for being the sponsor for our show this week.
Yes.
All right, man. Well, let me ask you, Mr. AER0KNIGHT, how was your reset?
My reset has been a lot of fun, actually. I fit in, like I mentioned, it's been a busy month, but I've been fitting in 2 or 3 nights of play. I love it early in the reset because I'll try to get on like Tuesday or Wednesday and knock out like almost all of my milestones. I love those things, especially considering I'm still working to get, I'm like mid to upper 270s right now. I'm like 276-ish. So, I'm still in that power level grind.
Yeah.
That a lot of you are past, but I'm really enjoying myself, man. I love the treasure maps, even though those aren't super rewarding. I love just jumping in. That's why I hope they keep giving us reasons to go out into patrol like they seemed like early on that was one of their goals. But I got my Mida. I did that quest. Definitely wanted to get it to get prepped for trials this weekend Mida. Because yes, go figure.
90% of trials teams had at least one person using the Mida this week.
It's unreal.
I think it was 98% to be correct.
If you're in a solid connection of a game and everything's feeling great and you're on your shot, that gun drops Guardians unbelievably.
If you're in a not solid connection game,
yes,
prepare to die behind a lot of corners.
Right? But dude, yeah, I've been enjoying it. I hope again, I'm gonna just graze on this topic here in a minute, but it's more in depth in a later discussion for a later episode. But I really hope they keep giving us reasons to go out into the world, go out into patrol. One of my main goals this week, since there's no power level, well, you got to be a certain power level to get into trials, but after that, as of right now, it doesn't matter. There's no curve there for you to get killed faster if you're lower power level.
Right.
But my loadouts, man, I wanted Mida. Here's my loadouts for trials: Mida, Uriel's Gift, and my trial sniper, and/or the blue shift rocket launcher. I was about to say,
so you went sniper instead of rocket launcher.
Yes, and I've got a real tough decision to make. I've been thinking about it this week. I love to snipe. It's one of my favorite weapon types in the game.
Yeah.
But on Eternity specifically, there's definitely lanes. You could make any weapon work in certain scenarios, but at a certain point, you got to decide, okay, I love this snipe. I love those crispy headshots, but those rocket launchers can get you some clutch round wins. So I finally got the blue shift to drop, which is what several of my buddies are using. So I'm probably going to rotate in the shotty and the rocket launcher here and there just to goof around. I can't put down my sniper all the time, but my other loadout is Nightshade and/or with the Last Hope, because that thing hip fire. I'm practicing. Got to practice hip firing that thing more as a beast. But my Nightshade on Eternity, man, it's just not enough range. So I found myself using Mida quite a bit more.
Yeah.
But that's my that was one of my main goals this week, was to get my loadout. I went in, I put mods on my gear for my Striker Titan. I was just trying to at 270-ish power level, I was trying to be the best Guardian, most prepared Guardian I could be.
Yeah.
For trials this weekend. Speaking of, we had a really good card going last night. We were I think we were 4-0. Feeling great. I jumped in a fire team with some friends who had just come off like a pretty sweaty passage like the previous Sunday. And we didn't know what to expect. And we had some really good games against some really good teams. And then we lost the 5th game. And you know what happens after you lose one. Then it sometimes it just turns into a domino effect. And
right.
We could only fit in one card. We really wanted to play another one, but one more weekend possibly. I hope to hit the full-blown every tier possible 3rd Spire trip next weekend, but I haven't done it yet.
You do it.
Not yet. That's my.
So I came.
I love my trials.
I came pretty close. We got to 6, and we lost on a tied 5-5 last round.
Ooh. Wow,
it was tough.
Those are rough, man.
It was tough.
Yeah.
To cap it off, one of my teammates had already had 1 win on his card and went flawless the game before.
Oh man, wow!
It made it hurt a lot more, man.
Yeah, man, it's weird. I thought about the boons. It's funny because we were chatting while we were playing. It's like, man, it'd kind of be cool to have the boons back, even after all those conversations of like, what's the point of the boons? But
I've seen a lot of people on Twitter, asking for Mercy back.
Well, the boons were, if you really looked at them, they were kind of pointless. But at the same time, they created a neat little aspect to it. So, I'm thinking about it. Okay, you started with a win. You get 2 wins on your first win, yada, yada. So, it all boils down to that mercy. Mm-hmm. Because it's 7 wins regardless. We all realize that. Mm-hmm. So, it's that mercy. Like, it's rough not having that mercy. And, right now, I'm still trying to figure out, like, I think everybody is, like, how I want to play Destiny 2 PvP. I'm getting better. I'm getting more cozy with it. I'm getting a loadout, that's good for right now. I actually got the Prosecutor Trials auto rifle. Mm-hmm. So I was excited about that. But I'm still trying to figure it out, So I don't know. It's an interesting little place we're in right now with Trials and Destiny 2 PvP as a whole. Yeah. I really want to get to, I got to grind some strikes because I want the origin story auto rifle as well, because I got the Nightshade when I was doing the story.
Yeah, origin story is great. I think it's a better PvE weapon. Yeah. Because of that. I mean, it probably has some potential to do some great work in PvP if you can get that perk to activate, but how often are you going to get a double or a triple with an auto without having, I think you have like a 5-second timer in between that you can, so it's very, very specific, but in PvE where you're shredding a lot of ads, it's great, and I've used it a ton. Well,
dude, I tweeted out this week because it's amazing. I'm like, are we in some sort of alternate Destiny universe? Because every streamer I watch has at least one auto rifle in their loadout, and it's Origin Story, Uriel's Gift, or the Prosecutor. Yeah. And it's like that. I'm constantly the Suros
using auto
days.
Rifles.
Yeah. I love it. I love auto rifles. I definitely love them for PvE. Mm-hmm. I just love always having a constant feed of bullets, but it's fun to use them in PvP right now. I miss my hand cannons, and I miss the Suros days in Destiny 1. I was still playing a lot of PvE stuff when Suros was a beast. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of fun to be, for auto rifles to be a viable option in PvP right now.
Yeah, I finally got a Last Hope sidearm to drop.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, so good, man. So I ran Mida Last Hope and a rocket launcher that I had dropped with cluster bombs. And I ran that this weekend. And nice. I think the Last Hope is solid gun for PvP.
Yeah, I haven't been shooting it from the hip, and I've still been shredding, and I've seen and heard that it's all about firing from the hip.
Is it really? Because I'm like ADS the whole time. So if I'm like...
That's what I've been doing, yeah.
If I'm missing something, then I'll try that out.
Yep. So it's a good time. Me, I love Trials, so I can always jump in, even if it's sweaty.
Yeah, so I enjoyed Trials this weekend. It does take some time with no mercy to get where you want to go. So it's more punishing than before, but I can see both aspects, and it's hard to know which way I want.
Well, it's one of those things. It's the classic, if you can get your flawless, it's for those people that can make flawless. But that mercy is a nice thing for, there's a lot of aspects of Destiny 2 people would say they catered towards the casual gamer, and not that they catered towards them, but more so they made things also
more accessible,
more accessible for them too, as well. So given the mercy would be another layer of that, and there's a lot of people that think you either can go flawless or you can't. But it is interesting when you get to that 4th or 5th win, just like Destiny 1, and it's 1 or 2 decisions that wasn't you know, it can flip the whole game.
Yeah.
And you lose, and then, all right, let's start a fresh card.
Right. Right.
So, but that's part of it. It's fun. We have a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good, man. So what else did you play this week? Did you get in any other fun stuff?
That was it, man. I have yet to run a Nightfall. I'm hoping to do a Nightfall this week and hoping to jump in the raid. I've researched the mechanics, so I'm not a total noob whenever I jump in with my fire team.
Cool.
But I've yet to do it, so I'm hoping to do that this week. I'm hitting the point where I'm gonna have to start doing that stuff, or trials is the only thing that's going to increase my power level.
Yeah, which you get some great stuff dropping from trials if you get up, to 7 wins and you get some power level, I guess, like progression enabled gear to drop. Like I've been getting some stuff that actually helped me progress a little bit in life from trials. So it's useful for sure. But if you're trying to push up past where you're at 276, like you need a whole bunch of different sources of gear.
Yeah, it probably goes without saying. I think the last 2 or 3 expansions in Destiny 1, I hit max light through trials.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
When they finally made that like a way to hit max light or power level.
Which nobody's going to hit max right now because it's, I think 350. I think is the technical max, but the soft, the soft landing point, it seems like right now is 305.
Yeah. Well, that's once you got all your mods in, right? You can hit 305. Yeah.
So,
what else you do, man?
What did I not do this week? So, I think I had mentioned last week I had started a Titan. So I got him up to level 20, maybe like early in the reset. Did all my reset stuff on my Warlock, then brought over all my gear onto my Titan. Here's the thing: this is a interesting progression system. You can bring a second or third character up in light really fast if you've already got one character up, because once you're level 20 and you can equip everything, I brought my highest level guns over, dropped them on that character, which were like 300 plus guns, went and bought an exotic arms for him from Xur, plop that on them, so that was 270 right there. And then I just saved up like, planetary vendor tokens just from that week, like not even for a long time, and just got some packages, rounded out like my legendary light gear, and by the end of the week he's 300 after raiding with him. So I did a raid on both characters, and he's 300 now.
I watched a very similar video where it was like, reach 280 in 4 minutes on your second character.
It's pretty simple, and I think it's both. It's cool to be able to do that. At the same time, though, this is part of a much bigger conversation, but there's no grind.
Right.
It's non-existent once you've gotten one there. I'm not saying that in a derogatory way. It was cool that I was able to get that character into other activities to access them and be able to play them when I wanted to. So by Thursday or Friday, the Titan was over 290 and I could comfortably do the raid with no problem.
That's a classic thing. It's like, how much do we want to grind on second characters?
Right.
It's like, do you want to, or do you want to be able to get them to a point you can play?
Yeah, part of it is having that there extends the game some, and it makes you work for it a little bit. On the other hand, it gives the player who doesn't have that time, but does have the time to run more activities. Say you want to run the raid twice, you want to run the nightfall twice, you want to run trials twice and get rewards, which I did. It gives you a more accessible way to do that. The problem is that once you're there, then those are the only things left, and you don't have any in between, you know? I mean, the campaign is longer than Destiny 1, but you can do it in 5-6 hours. So once that's done, I mean, you're ready.
Yeah. I almost started a second character. I was going to wait for a while, possibly not even do that until PC, but I was going to start one to get the origin story from the when you do your 2 strikes.
Do you have Nameless Midnight yet?
No, I don't have that yet. That popped up several times.
You need to get that.
Yeah. I've
seen
that one start to surface. Yeah. Well, and then I was like, I'm not going to do it yet. I may, but I want to play through the story again slower. And I'm kind of saving my second character for that.
I did that on my Titan, and I even noticed things that, just little things that I had missed the first playthrough because, either I was like 4 a.m. or I was like somebody was talking, or, So it was good to play through it again. And I definitely enjoyed it. But circling back around, that was a cool thing, but so this leaves me at kind of an impasse, right? So in a week, with extra effort, I finished a second character. I ran 2 characters through every milestone in all of the in-game activities. Raid, trials, played trials on both of them. Didn't go flawless. That's less a time-involved thing and more like a skill or luck thing involved with that, but the time involved, like I was able to do all those things, and I can do all that again this week and probably still have more time to do other stuff because things like the raid and stuff are going to become more efficient. So it puts me in a position where, as an avid player of this game, I kind of have to decide how and where I want to spend my time, because and we're going to talk about this more probably in the next couple episodes. There's a very large discussion about what the end game is comprised of in Destiny 2. And without pulling that thread too deeply, I'm at a point where I have to kind of make a decision on how I want to play the end game. I can either do all the things again next week, which I will. Like, I'm still enjoying the raid and, doing the nightfalls and just doing all the milestone stuff. Like, it's still fun to me. But once that's done, and I play trials, like, what else do I want to do? I can start a third character. Like, I can go start a hunter on an Xbox. Or do I want to go over to PS4 and start a character there? I don't know, because I know I'm also going to be playing on PC. Do I want to play this game on 3 systems?
I know. I'm
already at that decision. I am at that decision, and I have the software. It came in my other collector's edition. So it's there. I haven't activated or used it yet. And I'm not 100% sure what I should do.
Yeah. I wonder if you should wait for PC. As much as I'd love to see you on PS4. I kind of decided a long time ago, I think I would like to run a character, at least one character, on my main PS4 and PC. But then I'm not at the point you're at, and I've already contemplated starting a second character.
Yeah, well, that's a natural progression in the game. Like,
yeah.
That's why you have 3 characters. Like, ultimately, if you want to play the game a lot, like, you start multiple characters. I just wasn't sure if I need to invest that time into 3 on this system, or if I should go start spending more time on another system. And I can always...
I just wonder if you should wait for the other system for PC. I just wonder. You know what I mean?
You're definitely making me feel better about that.
I don't want you to burn yourself out. I mean, it's hard for us to burn ourselves out of this game, but...
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I can spend time, like, I've already put it into my plans to spend time next week trying to set up runs, helping folks in my clan that haven't been able to do the raid and other activities. Like, I want to dedicate some whole nights next week to doing some Sherpa-ing, and that's a great way to spend time too. And I'll probably get a lot of enjoyment out of that. But I'm just thinking, as a player,
maybe it's time for the God of Games.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of it as a player that's, been tackling everything head on. Like, all right, what do I want to do from here? Like, I kind of have a decision to make. And some of it has to do with, like, if I create that third character, like, how much time and value am I going to get out of it? After I've already done another one, like, I got a week of new stuff out of that. That's it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Which I guess, we got to keep in mind, too. The PC is going to give us that angle of, different peripherals and a kind of a different experience, even though it'll be the same experience. So I don't know, maybe, maybe you won't be burnt out once you get to that point. True. But yeah, that's what I'm most excited about with PC is experiencing the game just in a different way.
Yeah.
It's the same game, but
I got some cool loot this week, man. Like, I got some more of the raid stuff. The raid sword is really cool. It's got some great perks. Mm-hmm. It's probably the best sword in the game right now. Like, rapid sword strikes increase the damage output, and then landing 3 strikes within a short time grants sword ammo. Wow. So it's a machine if you can get up close for DPS on a on a singular enemy or a boss or a yellow bar or something like that. I'll tell you, I didn't get to use Sunshot until I got it through my Titan. God, that gun is so great, man.
Oh, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. And it's a lot of fun in PvE, and I was actually getting shredded with it a few times in trials last night. People use it. Okay. Yeah, people toy with it in PvP. I don't know. I haven't watched anything on it as far as its level of effectiveness in PvP, but I will say I know when I'm getting hit by it. Okay. I will tell you that.
My favorite PvE gun in the game so far is Risk Runner.
I still don't have that one.
It's an ARC submachine gun. It's very similar to what was the ARC auto in Destiny 1? I'm already forgetting.
Oh, Zalo.
Very similar to Zalo, a little bit more effective.
That was a fun gun.
When you take arc damage, it allows you to do chaining arc damage when you fire, and it also fills your mag. So if you can keep that going, I have shot without reloading, just like full barrage for like over a minute or two. Just bullet hose.
Yeah, I don't have that yet. There's several guns that I want
good
that
in
I
the
haven't
right
gotten
situation.
yet.
It's so much fun.
Yeah, I don't know the name of it, but I'm still hunting that Titan exotic chest piece that's got the auto rifle perk.
Oh
on it,
yeah, you can get that. Yeah, you can
much.
Pick that to drop as your first exotic. That's the one I picked.
Oh really?
It was fun to use in the campaign.
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I got the Sentinel arms because I run Sentinel a lot in PvE, and I was like, man, I need these right now because the way I'm perked out, like they work great, and I did not even know about that.
There's a number of class specific exotic armors that are a little more rare. Like there's several I don't have for my Warlock still. There's a bunch I think I don't have for the Titan. So those are all things I'm still chasing that have some really cool perks. Have you gotten those like jet boots, like the Lion Stride or whatever for the Titan?
No,
Basically,
I'm running Dune Marchers.
When you jump higher, and then at the peak of your jump, you can just, I guess, horizontally just strafe forward for like 5 seconds. So like you'll get to the top of the jump, and then you just kind of like rocket boot across the sky slowly. It's kind of fun to use in PvE. It's a fun game.
Sounds fantastic.
We're talking about exotics. Xur sold Wardcliff Coil.
Yes, I picked that up.
How funny. All right. Week 2 of Xur. Very analogous to Destiny 1 Vanilla. Week 2, he sells an exotic rocket launcher that does projectile damage and sunbreakers. They planned that really 100%.
The classic debate is Xur really random.
But did you pick that gun up? Did you?
Oh yeah. Yep.
I didn't have it yet, so I was psyched about this. Really fun to play with. Killed myself with it a lot.
I have not used it, but I did.
It is a rocket that you have to use at essentially fusion rifle range. So you can't be more than like 15 feet away because it just drops off. Like the projectiles do not travel that far. So you have to be within a tight space, but if you're too tight, you die.
Toast. It's a pretty ugly rocket launcher too.
Do you think it's ugly?
Yeah, man, it looks like something from
kind of cool,
like Fallout
man.
or something.
So, there's
a lot of people like
there's
that.
an ornament that makes it look really pretty that I got to drop.
I have yet to apply an ornament.
It's called Tesla's Revenge, and it makes it a little more cleaned up and pretty.
Nice.
But it's a unique gun. They've got some cool, unique looking weapons in this game.
Yeah, I love we're getting to the point, because at first it's like, it's like, oh, I miss Last Word, I miss No Land Beyond, and then we're getting to the point now where we're starting to find the uniqueness, of the new faves. So, yeah, very cool.
But thinking out loud, other stuff I've gotten into this week, of course, going through the raid, getting a little more efficient and skilled at that. Got some players through different points of that for the first time. Again, I was texting you about this, kind of like at different points having a different amalgamation of teammates and players. Like, I don't think I've had one group of 6 people complete the whole thing all the way through yet. Just because different people have to drop out on different times of the night. It's
just such until you get to where you can do it in an hour. Yeah, it's such
if you can't do it in less than 2 hours, that's the risk that you got to take. Like, so, but once I find that once someone has completed a section once, they've pretty much they can do what they need to do to finish it. So it's a question of if you've got 1, 2, 3, or however many people that haven't done successfully a section of the raid, then you've got to teach. You've got to have trial and error on stuff and the learning curve, and that can add some time, because the raid is not terribly difficult. It's just really punishing. Yeah. One person dead, you got 30 seconds to res them. One person screws up one thing on the last boss, like the whole thing's a wipe. It's very punishing in that way. So yeah, I still have yet. I've got to actually experience the hands-on raid experience, but like I said, I researched the encounters so that I would be a complete noob. Yeah. So you're planning to do that next week, and I think we're planning to try to talk about the raid in depth next week, or next show rather. So if you're trying to finish out, this is your week to go finish it up, so you can listen next week as we expose all the secrets. Speaking of topics, I was gonna briefly mention we mentioned we have several topics for later that we're kind of banking on, and actually I'm just gonna save what I typed in the show notes. I think these are some good points for a couple shows paragraph from now. Yes, about in-game. You mentioned in-game opportunities. I have some little thoughts in here about different things they could do with in-game stuff. We're gonna save it. Yep, it's gonna be a big to do. Talk about all that. Get ready, prepare your loins. So much stuff. So yeah, that was my reset. I mean, I had a ton of fun. I've had some frustrating moments. I've had some really rewarding moments. It's very much Destiny, as I've enjoyed it. Had a blast trying to tackle the raid with all my team and other new players that we played with. Met actually a couple of really funny people that we pulled off of LFG for one encounter that turned out to be cool people. Always surprised when that happens, but hey. Oh, that's cool when that happens. But yeah, so we got lots to talk about over the next couple of weeks as we unpack kind of some of the final offerings that this initial part of Destiny 2 has offered to us. So look forward to that. Yeah. It's so easy to pick apart our favorite game, but when you get down to the nuts and bolts of running around shooting the bad guys, the aliens, that's always just fun. It's just a good time talking with your friends. Absolutely. But yes, we've got, dude, we were just talking about before we started recording, we have several side topics
for later shows. You guys are gonna love it. We need to, and we'll get your feedback too. We might try to throw out some questions.
We will. Well, for now,
you guys get involved.
How about we do some Dirt Fam discourse? We got at least one.
Speaking of, yes, yeah, you're really good at reading those long emails, Cyborg. What do you think?
I'll do it. I'll do it. All right, from our friend Barry, aka Sir B. Leslie, titled "The Facebook King's Views." He writes, "Hi guys, after playing Destiny 2 for the past 3 weeks, I thought I'd share a few opinions for your discussion. In all, I'd rate this as a very good game and a worthy sequel to our beloved game. But I just completed a Nightfall, which is a massive pain because of the lack of ammo. At several times I actually used up everything and had to run around until the residual ammo refilled. Why are there no vendor ammo synths? I've either missed something or this is a point that people don't find an issue. What should have been a tricky boss fight become a huge mess because there was no supply of power ammo to fight his distinctly OP attacks and health. If Bungie don't want us to rely too much on heavy, then at least increase the impact that scarce power ammo has on enemies or let us buy ammo again. Apart from that, the game is amazing. I'm having so much fun. The introduction of guided games makes encounters interesting and more stable. At the moment, all 3 of my Guardians are sitting at 285, and I'm firmly loving the new weekly grind. Thank you for all your hard work with the podcast, and Destiny Reset Green are a rocking, wrecking crew. Peace out, Sir B. Leslie, the Facebook King." So he brings up a couple things here that are worth mentioning. The Nightfall, Exodus Black, as a strike, is nobody's favorite strike. Because this
dude, I haven't even ran a Nightfall, and I heard all about this one.
But here's what happened to me the first time I ran it. We get down, we get the guy down to like a sliver. He disappears, clear all the ads, and then we're sitting there with 2.5 minutes waiting for him to show up, and the clock ticks. We're running around. There's no ads to kill. 2.5 minutes went down with nothing in the room, and we failed the Nightfall. In a way, this strike is completely broken. I think that it's an interesting design choice, poorly executed. And he brings up ammo. They're throwing shanks at you constantly, which I think are meant to be a source of ammo. But you've got to run around the fringes of the map to do that, which is a dangerous place to traverse because you can constantly get electrocuted. And I had ammo problems as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, Barry, I have yet, like I've mentioned, to run a Nightfall. But in all the feeds that I follow throughout the week, I have heard multiple times the ammo issue, particularly in this Nightfall.
Yeah. I think it has to do with the way that the arena is designed. There are times occasionally playing the game where I will run out of ammo, place times in the raid specifically, occasionally just strikes and different stuff like that where it just something doesn't work out and you just suddenly you look and you like all your weapons are almost completely empty. They still have the mechanic where if you are out of everything within a certain amount of time, the ghosts will suck up ammo and refill you. That can happen still. But I think that with the design choice that only certain enemies drop heavy, it places a burden on the designer to fill those enemies in certain places without making it too difficult, but also doing it enough that you get some power ammo to do what you need to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
And it's, why does it have to be that complicated? Why can't we just have sense again?
Yeah, that is weird. That's just another one of those things. It took a minute to realize that we didn't have those in this version of our Destiny.
So,
well,
great question though, man. It's a great point in a potential flaw in the execution of that system. Maybe it's something they can work on. Glad to see that you're enjoying the game. Obviously, you're grinding it pretty hard because you got 3 characters.
I was gonna say. Got some tunes at 285, all 3. Holy cow, Barry. That's fantastic.
Awesome. All right, but if you want to participate in Dirt Fam Discourse, you can send us an email or a SpeakPipe. Our email is destinyresetpodcast@gmail.com or SpeakPipe, which is like a voicemail, speakpipe.com/Destiny Reset.
You have 90 seconds.
That's right.
Which
Not
Blue
one more.
has some
He
trouble with
fills it, man,
sometimes.
every one.
Oh.
Do we have any patrons? New patrons this month?
We do. Man, these awesome Guardians. Shout out to Grim Orphan, Darth Digits,
Thank you guys.
and J Howard 414. Thank you for that PayPal donation, buddy.
Yeah, so these folks
Thank you guys.
have all given to help support the podcast. If you want to become a patron, you can go to patreon.com/Destiny Reset, and you can help us out with our production budget for as little as $1 a month. And that dollar would go towards things like hosting services and equipment for the podcast and just things to help us make us sound better, be more awesome all together.
Easier to tolerate each week.
Buys me an energy drink a month so I can be awake to do the podcast.
Right? Yeah, because it is 12:30 a.m. right now.
Yes.
It'll be posted in 3 or so hours,
Yep.
2 hours.
Let's get you some more
Yep.
coffee. So go on over patreon.com/Destiny Reset. You get a shout out on the show. You get your name on the website. Get some other cool perks that you can check out. And then if you want to just do a one-time donation, if you don't want to do like the monthly thing, we've got a PayPal that you can use. There's a link on the website, DestinyResetPodcast.com.
And just know, guys, if you want to do, we've had some messages. People just like to do the one-time donation. That's fantastic. We really appreciate it. You can do just $1 a month, like Cyborg mentioned, and you can cancel it at any point.
Yeah.
So don't think, if you did $10 for 10 months, you can, of course.
No, we
cancel
got you
it
for
at any
life.
point. So, yeah, we got you locked in. And one other thing, we've mentioned this a couple times. If you did become a patron, go check your messages just in case, because we like to 110% be sure we have your gamer tag right before we give you a shout out and before we post it on the website.
Right.
So
We won't say
check
your full
Patreon
name,
messages.
John Snow or John Applegate or whatever your name is. We're not going to tell the whole world that.
Applegates.
All right, man. Let's wrap this up. I got things to do. I got games to play. I got to go to bed at a decent hour for one night this week.
Right. I know. Trials, I keep telling myself I'm going to go to bed at 1 when I log on. And then, yeah, dude, it was like 2. It was almost 3 by the time. Because you don't factor in the like getting ready for bed. You just factor in the log off moment. So yeah, you log off at 2:15, and then by the time you actually lay down and get a midnight snack like I do usually every night, it's pushing 3, and then 6:15, 6:30's here before you know it. You know what I mean? Everybody knows what I mean.
Get some sleep, Guardians.
Get some sleep. It's not launch week anymore. Get some
Time
sleep.
to turn it down. All right, man. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at the AER0KNIGHT and YouTube and Twitch. It's AER0KNIGHT. What about you, man?
You can find me on Twitter at CyborgSasquatch and also twitch.tv/CyborgSasquatch. Catch me streaming.
Make it so easy.
Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Saturday nights, sometimes other nights if I'm so inclined. Be streaming the raid this week and some of the Nightfall and Milestone activities if you'd like to come and hang out. Love you to stop by. Finally, you can find us at Destiny Reset on Twitter and on the web at www.destinyresetpodcast.com. That's your source for all things Destiny Reset, including links to subscribe to us on your favorite podcast app of choice. Go do it. Do it. All right, man. We
good chatting with
got
you.
any
Buddy.
iTunes reviews this week?
We got one. They didn't leave a written review, but it's still just as amazingly important. We thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes. Thank you very much. We appreciate the feedback. Any constructive feedback. We want it all. Let us have it.
All right. Good to talk with you. We'll do it again next week.
I know it's funny. We chat via text message all week long, and then we actually hear each other's voices.
Once a week. Guaranteed.
I know. Unless you make that PS4 character, the only time we're going to hear each other, because I don't own the game on
I
Xbox. We're only going to hear each other's voices when PC
will work. We'll see each other a lot on PC.
Yeah, that works. All right, very cool. Very cool. Until next week, have fun playing Destiny and take care, Guardians.